Hi, everyone. Today is T minus 8, and we are almost down to a week left in the launch. And things kind of feel good. I am still not super confident in the book. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But basically, today I fleshed out the good enough chapter. So a lot of some of the chapters were blog posts, and they were a lot shorter. So previously, good enough was essentially just a bunch of tweets, and I basically had about this much, and then I was like, this is actually not what I have. So like basically when I write, I have a lot of points that I want to make it in, but I actually I've actually like cut short. Like these are the things I still want to add, but I'm not able to. Like if I just kept adding more and more and more stuff, I'm sort of missing the forest for the trees. Like I need to start working on the macro stuff, right? Like the launch details because I'm a week away. Instead of adding more points, which like more completeness is good, but it's not really gonna budge, the sales later. I mean, I'm definitely keen on adding more stuff to make it the best it can be. But the point of shipping is that I get things to a publishable state. So I need to start focusing on other things. Anyway, the good enough page wasn't good enough. So I just added in some really interesting thoughts that have been on my mind, like why you should try to be um, uh, more accurate rather than more precise, and a little bit of like storytelling around why you should why more precision gives more false confidence. False confidence makes you overinvest in things, and that's negative for you. Okay, so that was the good enough chapter. I also had Nat, who I've been working with on editing, actually come on for paid work. So he's gonna help me with 10 chapters, which I helped him, which I assigned to him. So he's gonna help me go through these. He seems like a fan. He seems really nice. He didn't charge me through the nose for these, so I'm really appreciative of that. And he's gonna like he knows what he's doing. So I think pull requests are coming in from him. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I mean like find people who can do that for you, because I'm certainly not the right one to do that. I also had a Twitter debate around single digit numbers and inside text. Basically, the American consensus is to spell it out. I kind of disagree, but enough people said that it bothered them that I was like, all right, this is your book to read, and it's my book to write, but it doesn't really bother me that much. So whatever. Okay. I also took over the engineering ladders cheat sheet from Tien, and it is what it is. She did a great job. We are here now. It's still not super pretty, and there's some holes in where things were, which is kind of a little bit by design. But I got to think about how to make it presentable. But I think she did a great job on the raw data. So all this is really interesting, and you can see how there's more blue in the more junior levels, and then there's more green and orange in the senior levels, and that's what you expect with starting with technical knowledge and then moving towards more influence and communication. Cool, and then and most of today I just spent I'm running out of time, right? I kept putting it off just because I didn't feel up to it. But there's only so much you can put off, asking for help, because it's time sensitive and people need time. So I was running up to a week, and I was like, all right, today's the day. So I hit my whole list of people. Most of them got back to me right away, which is pretty awesome. And I didn't finish all of them just because. I mean, I feel a little bit greedy with all these already. Like, I don't actually need that much. But I mean, on any one of these, especially like, yeah, some of these are idols of mine, and if they read my book and they don't like it, um, that's the main worry, right? So my struggle is that I basically haven't had anyone read the whole book. right? Like people have read chunks of it, and like maybe they like it, maybe they don't. Um, but no one's read the whole book. And if you're endorsing, if you're giving a testimonial for a book, even though it's like one or two sentences that I'm actually going to end up quoting, uh, you're kind of putting your name on the book. And if I said anything that you don't agree with, then that's a little bit on you, on me as well, but also on you. So what I'm worried about is that, you know, these are good friends, these are and mentors and heroes, and what I'm worried about is if some of them like find something problematic that I said, and they're like, "Nah, I don't want to review this." You know, Joe's been very nice. He was like, "Yeah, that's like 90% chance that it's not gonna happen." But there's still a 10%, and I'll have to take it. It's not like I can do anything now. I've sort of tied my hands, right? I said, "This is T-8. I have to get something out." These are a short list of people that I think would be awesome to get quotes from. Sent it out. They said yes, right? The worst that can happen to me is they'll come back and say no, and that will be a blow. But I don't think it will damage my relationship with them. I definitely won't hold it against them because I need feedback. If something I said was really wrong, I'd rather know from these guys than blast it out to 1,000 people and then not really know. That's the feeling right now. It's not super comfortable. Maybe half of them might not come back by the launch, but hopefully enough of them will, and we'll have some testimonials up. That's really all I got done today. Not the most productive day, and it's very draining to do like, hey, will you help me? And they're like, great, you'll help me, and then I have to email and like I personalize my message for every single one of these people. So like, what is your personal connection to the book? And by the way, I mean I put all my pitches inside of pitch.md inside of the book. So basically, this is meant as a template for other people. If you're writing a book in future, you can buy access to my Git repo and get all this stuff, get everything I'm doing, get my launch list and all that. So that's the rough idea of like what I'm trying to do there. And it's hard. There's a couple that rejected me. Yeah. So that's that. It sucks, but people care about social proof. And these are my friends. A lot of them are my friends. Most of them are my friends, and friends help each other out. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like there's some people I would have loved to ask, but I couldn't, for one reason or another. And it is what it is. We'll see. I mean, I've never done this before. I never tapped on people to like, like, hey, I need a favor and all that. But I also care what they think, So if they come back to me with like notes, like Jeff Escalante was like really like, hey, I'm like writing a list of notes, and I was like, oh shit, that's not good. So we'll see what happens, but at least like it's time sensitive, so I kicked that off. That's the main thing. Like they're gonna come back, over the next few days, and I'll deal with each of them separately. But at least I got things going. I don't feel great about the book yet. So another thing I did was I got rid of the one of the things that I've been excited about, or I tried to introduce, was this TLDR TOC. So it was like, okay, the regular TOC is too long, so I'm gonna do like a 1-sentence summary of every single chapter, and I did that. But I feel like it doesn't really add that much. Like, if you look at the basically the title should intrigue you, and if the title intrigues you, then you should head over to that chapter. And telling you what is in that chapter maybe like makes you lose interest, and it loses that ability to see an overview of the whole book. So, for example, something I've been selling the people that I DM is this thing, right? I can send a simple screenshot. These are the topics for the book, and people have told me this is extremely compelling by itself. So why am I wrecking this, right? I should just keep this. I have this going for me, that I have a minimum spanning tree of everything interesting in coding careers. So I'm just keeping this, and I'm getting rid of all this stuff I typed here, which, like, I did a bunch of work for nothing, but better that than shipping something I don't like. And I'm still keeping this. I think it's good to browse. If you want detail, you would get detail, and then if you want high level, you get high level. And that's as much thought as I'm going to put into this. I've kind of put too much thought into this. Yeah. So that's T-8. Tomorrow I start work on ladders because I haven't touched those yet. I want to write a who is this book for section. So, like, just really nail the target audience. I'm not sure where to put it. Maybe start talking about an ad, and maybe flesh out a bit more chapters. So flesh out one open source apps chapter, because that's the lightest one right now. The one thing I discussed with Joe is that this book right now is 400 and something pages, 430. That's a lot of book, and yeah, I mean, I didn't have I wrote a long book because I didn't have time to write a short book. And so I think a lot of V2 is going to be cutting down that word count. Like, ideally I want to cut it down by half. So that means that I have to be really brutal about each of these things. And yeah, that's my thinking. All right, that's it. See you tomorrow.